Welcome to the land of maple leaves and endless wilderness, Canada. Known for its vast landscapes, fascinating traditions, and incredible diversity, this country has a charm all its own. Whether you're visiting the modern cities along the southern border or venturing deep into the Arctic Circle, here it is known for its hospitality that takes on a whole new meaning. You can visit an Inuit family and be invited to have fun with the host's wife all night long, which you cannot refuse. In the far reaches of Newfoundland and Labrador, that's not a myth, but a quirky reality. Don't miss this video because we promise it will surprise you. Canada, a land of unimaginable size. Canada is massive. It's the second largest country on Earth, stretching from the Arctic Circle all the way to vibrant cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. You might think of Canada as a cold northern land, but it offers so much more than just icy landscapes. In fact, if you wanted to drive from Vancouver on the west coast to St. John's on the east coast, you'd spend almost a week on the road, driving non-stop. Covering around 10 million square kilometers, it's big enough to fit multiple countries like Brazil and Mexico combined. Yet, despite its size, Canada has a relatively small population of only about 38 million people, giving it one of the lowest population densities in the world. Despite the sparse population, Canada's landscapes are as varied as they are vast. From dense forests to sprawling prairies, there's a rich diversity of ecosystems. In the Rockies, you'll find towering mountains capped with snow all year round. The forests are home to some of the oldest trees on Earth, some even dating back thousands of years. In the east, the iconic maple trees that give Canada its national symbol paint the forests in fiery reds and oranges during autumn. Canada's geography also contributes to its enormous wealth of natural resources, which have been a vital part of the nation's development. It's rich in minerals, and the boreal forests are one of the largest sources of timber in the world. If you love the outdoors, Canada's beauty will take your breath away. From the rugged Rocky Mountains to the crystal-clear lakes found in its countless national parks, the scenery is simply incredible. Did you know that Canada holds about 20% of the world's freshwater reserves? That's right. It has more lakes than any other country on Earth. And if you're visiting northern Canada, you'll come across one of the most resilient and fascinating cultures, the Inuit Hospitality. Don't just have food, have my wife. Living in the remote, icy expanses of northern Canada, the Inuit people have created a culture shaped by their environment. Their connection to both nature and spirituality runs deep, and one of the most surprising aspects of their culture is their approach to hospitality. When you're invited into an Inuit community, you're not just offered a warm meal or a bed to sleep in. In some cases, the host may even offer a more intimate experience with his wife as a gesture of hospitality. Yes, you heard that right. While this may come as a shock to many, when a guest is welcomed into an Inuit community, the experience goes beyond a warm meal or a bed to sleep in. In some cases, the host may even offer a fun night with his wife as a gesture of hospitality. It can be difficult to refuse this kind of hospitality, as refusing such a gesture can sometimes be interpreted as a sign of disrespect. In Inuit culture, while a husband may extend an offer, it's typically the woman who has the final say. This act is not just a transaction, but a privilege meant to honor and welcome a guest into the community. This hospitality is closely linked to their spirituality. The Inuit not only show openness to new guests, but also perform rituals of exchanging lovers, always for religious purposes, and with the knowledge of their shaman, known as the Angakok. These shamans are revered figures, believed to have special powers to communicate with the spirit world and help heal the sick. Their knowledge of the natural world, animals, and weather patterns make them vital to the community's survival. Imagine spending a night having fun with your host's wife as a symbol of trust and respect. Would you take part in this Inuit custom? What may seem unusual to outsiders is a deeply ingrained part of Inuit culture, rooted in centuries of tradition, quirky laws and traditions. Inuit politeness is world famous, but there are some quirky laws and traditions that might leave you scratching your head. One of the strangest tax laws comes from Newfoundland and Labrador, where in the past you could pay your taxes with seal pelts. This tradition dates back to a time when seals were vital to the local economy and survival. Seal pelts were not just a form of currency, but a lifeline in the harsh northern climate. Seals provided food, warmth, and materials for clothing. And even today, seal hunting is an important part of the culture in many indigenous communities. While you won't find anyone paying taxes in seal pelts anymore, this quirky tradition is still a fascinating glimpse into Canada's past. And let's not forget about dog sledding, an essential part of life in Canada's snowy regions. Laws in places like Yukon and Nunavut ensure that sled dogs, such as the iconic Siberian Huskies, are treated with respect. These dogs are vital partners for transportation across the frozen tundra, and regulations cover everything from the number of dogs required for a sled to their care and maintenance. The bond between the Inuit and their sled dogs is legendary. These dogs are not just pets, they are essential partners in survival. Huskies are bred for endurance and can cover vast distances over snow and ice, pulling sleds laden with supplies. Their loyalty and toughness are matched only by the resilience of the Inuit people who depend on them. Amish women dress simply in long, dark-colored dresses, avoiding patterns and adornments. They cover their arms and never cut their hair, which remains hidden beneath a bonnet. Buttons are also avoided in favor of hooks and eyes, as buttons are seen as symbols of militarism and modernity. The Amish lifestyle may seem rigid, but it's all about devotion to their faith. From birth, women are taught to be obedient, first to their fathers and later to their husbands. This conservative way of life is reflected in everything they do, from household chores to their clothing choices. Inuit women play a vital role in their communities, contributing far beyond household duties. They help prepare animal skins for clothing, cook, and raise children, all while possessing essential knowledge about the land and animals. Their traditional clothing, such as the amauti, a parka with a baby pouch, showcases their deep connection to nature. The Inuit continue to pass down their traditional knowledge to younger generations, teaching them essential survival skills such as ice fishing, hunting seals and caribou, and building igloos. These practices are not just about survival, they are integral to Inuit identity and cultural pride. Speaking of traditions, let's take a look at one of the Amish's most unique courtship practices, bundling. This involves young couples spending the night together while fully clothed and often separated by a blanket or pillow. It allows them to bond emotionally without violating the strict rules of modesty. Facial hair also plays an important role in Amish culture. A clean-shaven face signals that a man is single, while growing a beard is reserved for those who have been baptized and married. This simple but symbolic act is a spiritual milestone for Amish men. Living without modern technology like electricity, cars, or even telephones, the Amish believe that the outside world is filled with temptations that could lead them away from God. Could you live like the Amish, where technology is cast aside and life revolves around faith? Now, although the Inuit people have a deep and vibrant culture, but they've also faced significant challenges over time. Historical events led to relocations and the establishment of residential schools, which had a lasting impact on their communities. Climate change and environmental issues have affected their traditional way of life, especially hunting and food security. Many Inuit experience health disparities, and maintaining cultural practices has become more challenging in the modern world. There are ongoing efforts to address the needs of Inuit women and youth, focusing on building stronger support systems for mental health, safety, and preserving their unique heritage. Travel and cost of living. Thinking of visiting Canada? You're in for a treat. Traveling here is relatively straightforward, especially if you're coming from the US or Europe. Major cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal are easy to reach with plenty of direct flights at competitive prices. For coffee lovers, you'll be happy to know that a cup of coffee costs around $2 to $3, similar to prices in cities like New York or Los Angeles. And dining out won't break the bank either. A mid-range meal typically costs around $15 to $30 per person. If you're looking to sample Canada's most iconic dish, poutine, a delicious combination of fries, cheese curds, and gravy, you can usually find it at local diners for under $10. Accommodation prices vary depending on the location. In big cities like Toronto and Vancouver, mid-range hotels cost about $100 to $150 per night. But if you're heading to smaller towns or more remote areas, you'll find cheaper options. For the budget-conscious, camping in national parks is a fantastic way to experience Canada's natural beauty at a fraction of the cost. Nature is Canada's biggest draw, and luckily, it's free to enjoy. Whether you're hiking in the Rockies, kayaking on pristine lakes, or exploring vast prairies, there's no shortage of adventures awaiting you. For those who love the outdoors, Canada offers a wealth of opportunities to reconnect with nature. In the summer months, the country's numerous national parks come alive with visitors eager to hike, camp, and explore. Banff National Park and Jasper National Park in Alberta are among the most popular destinations for those seeking breathtaking mountain views, crystal clear lakes, and a chance to spot some of Canada's incredible wildlife. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Canada's unique Inuit cultures and landscapes. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. What surprised you most about Canada? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, we hope you're enjoying our adventure tales. Click on another video on the screen and keep learning about more unique cultures. See you tomorrow with a brand new video.